treat members of the public and other public officers with courtesy and respect, and maintain high standards of performance and the level of professionalism. Mr. Speaker, Section 19 of the Public Officers Ethics Act of 2017 further provides that the public officer should not knowingly give false or misleading information to members of the public. Procedure, Mr. Speaker, for removal from office of the County Secretary. Procedure for removal of members of Executive Committee where the County Secretary serves as the Secretary to the County Executive Committee is highlighted in Section 40 of County Government Act of 2012. Section 40 of the County Government Act, which provides that the Governor may remove a member of the County Executive Committee from office on any of the following grounds. Mr. Speaker, on grounds of incompetence, abuse of office, gross misconduct, failure without a reasonable excuse or written authority of the Governor to attend 3 consecutive meetings of the county executive member. E, physical or mental incapacity. And F, gross violation of the Constitution or any other law. A member of County Assembly, supported by at least 1/3 of all the members of the County Assembly, may propose a motion requiring the Governor to dismiss County Executive member on any of the grounds set above. In this case, the County Secretary, being part of the County Executive Committee, motion or to confirm that there is supported by at least 1/3 of members of the County Assembly, as is highlighted in Section 42 of the County Government Act. And in this case, the notice of motion was supported by 28 members. This met the threshold at it exceeded the required support of 16 members. The above two, Mr. Speaker, is annexed. The motion was debated on 9th of July in the morning session, and the same was supported by all members present. Again, it's annexed, Mr. Speaker, in this report. The law continues to provide that if the said motion is supported by at least 1/3 of the members of the County Assembly, A, the County Assembly shall appoint a select committee comprising of 5 of its members to investigate this matter. On the 9th of July, Mr. Speaker, afternoon session, the County Assembly constituted a 5-member select committee. The above is annexed, Mr. Speaker. The County Government Act provides that the select committee shall report within 10 days to the County Assembly whether it finds the allegation against the County Executive member to be substantiated. Article 47 on fair administrative action and Article 51, read together with Standing Orders of 77, gives the County Secretary the right to appear and be represented before the Select Committee during this investigation. The Speaker, the County Secretary, via a letter dated 10th and 17th July 2024, was invited to appear before this Select Committee on 23rd of July. The copy of the letter, Mr. Speaker, for invitation is annexed number 5. However, on the 22nd of July 2024, the Office of the Clerk received a letter from the County Secretary declining to attend the scheduled hearing on the grounds that he had given a notice of resignation to His Excellency the Governor. The above also, Mr. Speaker, is annexed number 6. If the Select Committee reports that it finds the allegation unsubstantiated, no further proceeding shall be taken, or substantiated, the County Assembly shall vote whether to approve the resolution requiring the County Executive member to be dismissed. If the resolution is supported by majority of the members of the County Assembly, the Speaker of the County Assembly shall promptly deliver the resolution to the Governor. And C, the Governor shall dismiss the County Executive Committee member, for this case, the CS. Mr. Speaker, on 3.0, the committee proceedings. The Select Committee was to conduct its hearing on the 13th, 15th, and 15th July 2024. However, on 12th July 2024, the Office of the Speaker received a letter from His Excellency the Governor dated 12th July 2024, informing the Speaker of the receipt of a notice of resignation from the County Secretary. The above two, Mr. Speaker, is annexed as 7A. As a result of the communication from His Excellency the Governor, the committee suspended its proceeding for further direction. On the 16th of July 2024, the Speaker made a communication to the House that the Select Committee provides with its investigation and report back its findings within 10 days. The communication is next number 8. The committee resumed this proceeding by conducting hearings on 22nd and 23rd July 2024. The committee was guided by the rules and procedures as stipulated in Article 195, Article 47, Article 50 of the Constitution of Kenya, the county government, the county standing orders 76, 77, and Section 43 of the County Government Act of 2012. Mr. Speaker, there was the summary of witness statements. Mr. Speaker, I wish to seek permission, Mr. Speaker, so that I skip part 4 on the summary of witnesses. Part 4, summary of witnesses, where we invited the Honorable Paul B. as witness number 1. Mr. Speaker, we also invited the Department of Information, Communication and Technology, where Moses Kibet Yagon appeared. The Department of Health, Mr. Speaker, Dr. Betty Langat, Dr. Bramwell Simio appeared, Robert Cheruiyot Sang, Mr. Speaker, Dr. Samuel Langat, Mr. Speaker, Dr. Calvin Miranga Moseti, Dr. Ari Mugun, Dr. David Ekwam, and Dr. Joyce B. Mr. Speaker, 2 appeared. We interrogated all the witnesses, Mr. Speaker, under oath. So, Mr. Speaker, allow me to continue reading from Part C, the Department of County Public Service, PSM, Mr. Speaker, because the charges on that were preferred against County Secretary emanated from major transfers in the department. So, Part 10, the Chief Officer in charge of Public Service Management appeared before the committee, accompanied by County Human Resource Director, Mr. Peter B., and Payroll Manager, Mr. Duncan Mutai. The Chief Officer informed the committee that this department is in charge of all issues pertaining employees at the county, and the County Human Resource Management Advisory Committee, CHRMAC, is under a PSM department. The committee further asked the Chief Officer to shed light on what the CHRMAC does. He responded that they advise on human resource matters and their role is delegated from the County Public Service Board. He further stated that the membership of CHRMAC comprises of the County Secretary as the chairperson and all chief officers of all departments as members. The Secretariat to the CHRMAC comprises of the Director Human Resource, Payroll Manager, and Chief Human Resource Officer. The Chief Officer further informed the committee that the additional roles of the CHRMAC include performance management, promotion, training and development, management of skills inventory, payroll management, deployment, discipline, pension, administration and recommendation for secondment and paid leave. On the CHRMAC meeting, he stated that the chairperson, together with the secretariat, liaise on the agenda and do a formal communication to schedule meetings. However, whenever a disciplinary case is reported, the Chief Officer PSM appoints a team to carry out investigation and report to the CHRMAC for action. The committee also asked the Chief Officer on how the department handles deployment processes, as he responded that any intended deployment between departments should be discussed on the as an agenda in CHRMAC before the same is effected. Mr. Speaker, I wish to read that for the second time. The committee also asked the Chief Officer, PSM, on how the department handles deployment processes, and he responded that any intended deployment between departments should be discussed as an agenda in CHR mark. Within the department, the respective chief officer is mandated by law to effect any deployment on the question whether this has been the case. The chief officer responded that the county secretary has been effecting transfers without involving the CHR mark, which is illegal. The committee asked the chief officer when the CHR mark held its last meeting, and he responded that the said meeting was held in March 2024, and all deployments that were effected in the year 2023 and 2024 were not sanctioned by CHR mark. In his closing remarks, he said that as a way of streamlining performance of the staff, performance appraisal, induction, training, and capacity building should be done regularly to motivate employees to work optimally, and that transfers should be progressive, because whenever an employee has been transferred and has undergone various training commensurate to the currently held and warranted transfers, that denotes demotion will not only demoralize the employee but also affect service delivery. One of the casualties of the transfer, Mr. Speaker, was Department of Water, Andrew Lasoy. One other, Dauti Kimngeno Kitur, Mr. Speaker, was transferred by the said County Secretary. Mr. Speaker, number 13, that is Engineer Richard Mitei, was also transferred irregularly, Mr. Speaker. Also, the department that was also affected by these unsanctioned transfers, Mr. Speaker, was the Department of Finance, where one Fernandez Korir was affected. There was also, Mr. Speaker, the Wilbert Cheruyot. Also, Helen Tu Chepkirui Tele was also affected by the transfers. Jacqueline Leitich, Mr. Speaker, was also transferred. For the case of Jacqueline, Mr. Speaker, on the 26th of July 2024, Jacqueline appeared before the committee virtually to give her testimony. She informed the committee that she worked for Kericho County as the Deputy Director Human Resource until 4th of January 2023, when she was redeployed by the County Secretary to Soin Sigawet to serve as the Sub-County Administrator. Mr. Speaker, Jacqueline Leitich was transferred from the position of Deputy Director Human Resource to go and become a Sub-County Director, Sub-County Administrator, Mr. Speaker. According to Jacqueline, the position she held as the Deputy Director Human Resource, by nature of her work and training, should be domiciled at the headquarters, and that her position is tenable at the county headquarters and not in the sub-county. She further informed the committee that the redeployment ought to have come from the Chief Officer, Public Service Management, and the County Secretary acted ultra vires. Mrs. Jacqueline informed the committee that during the recruitment, under the tenure of Dr. Wesley Bauer, the Office of Human Resource was not involved, and as such, the process was impaired since the Secretariat from the Department of PSM was left out, and neither was the input sought. She further informed the committee that the human resource officers from the PSM did not verify documents during the recruitment of a county secretary, since the files meant for the perusal and verification were taken away from our office. According to Jacqueline, the select committee intervention is long overdue, and she finalizes its investigation so that justice is served to those affected by the county secretary's action, and committee determination will set precedents. As an HR expert, she clarified that a notice of resignation can be rescinded before the lapse of the 30 days period. On the question of whether during her time in office they held a CHR meeting on the as the secretary to the committee, her response was that they never held any meeting. She further informed the committee that resignation does not start from the office of the county secretary, but it should be initiated by the employee, and it is not automatic. When asked as to whether due process was followed on her designation, she responded that due process was not followed because she did not make a request for a designation, and the same was not sanctioned by CHRMAC, and the County Public Service Board would have handled her transfer and that of any other person above job group Q. And therefore, the County Secretary misused his office in effecting a transfer and a redesignation. Mr. Speaker, I wish to skip part of Cynthia.
This is part of the report.
Yes, it is part of the report, Mr. Speaker. So I can proceed?
Of course, because it's part of your report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for
yes.
Guidance. Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Cynthia Cheruto Koech, appearing before the Select Committee, stated that she was working as a personal secretary in the office of the governor before she was summarily dismissed. Initially, she was employed on contracts at Kericho County Referral Hospital in procurement department before serving in the office of the deputy governor as a messenger. Interesting events, Mr. Speaker. While serving, she was summoned to appear before the County Public Service Board on allegations of presenting forged documents, and allegations she denied, and the County Secretary further forced her to hand in resignation letter, which she refused. She further stated in March 2023, the County Secretary frustrated her on grounds of falsified documents and pushed her to resign from her position with a promise of being given another appointment in the procurement department. She informed the committee that the County Secretary accused her of exposing confidential documents at the office of the governor. She also said that the County Secretary persistently extorted money from her in the pretense that he was going to send it to EACC so as not to investigate her credentials, and ended up paying Kenya shillings 20,000. Mr. Speaker, Mrs. Cynthia also told the committee that the County Secretary asked for sexual favors from her, which she vehemently refused, and told him that she was married. 5-0, Mr. Speaker. Investigation of the allegation as highlighted in the motion for removal of office of Dr. Wesley Bor as the County Secretary. 1, Mr. Speaker, was gross violation of the Constitution, County Government Act, Leadership and Integrity Act, and the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, Mr. Speaker. Serious reasons for believing the County Secretary has committed crimes under the Penal Code, Cap 263. The mover of the motion alleged that Dr. Wesley Bor, the County Secretary of Kericho County, is currently under investigation by DPP and DCI, and is likely to face arrest, charge, prosecution, and institution of criminal proceedings in relation to giving fabricated and false information to the ad hoc committee on the Londiani accident. This discloses grounds that the serious reasons for believing that the County Secretary has committed crime under the national laws, including but not limited to offense relating to false swearing, contrary to Section 1.4 of the Penal Code, by presenting forged minutes, declaring it as a truthful document, fabricating evidence, contrary to Section 1131 and 113A and B of the Penal Code, by adducing fabricated evidence claiming to have been signed by Rosemary Rob, Judy Chirchir, Hedina Tanui, and Daniel Rob. The said evidence was submitted to the County Assembly Ad hoc Committee on Londiani incident. 3, Mr. Speaker, giving false information on the Londiani incident, County Assembly Ad hoc Committee, contrary to Section 19, as read together with Section 10 of Public Officers and Ethics Act. The mover of the motion in his submission regarded the said allegation stated the following. Mr. Speaker, on 4th of August 2024, when Dr. Bor appeared before the ADO Committee investigating the Londiani ADO Committee incident fundraising held on 4 July 2024, the County Secretary was examined on oath regarding Londiani accident fundraising. The County Secretary submitted to the committee minutes of Londiani Disaster Committee meeting held on 18 July 2023 in the Governor's boardroom, which was signed and approved by him. The above, Mr. Speaker, is annexed as 10A. The said minutes indicated to have been attended by Dr. Wesley K. Bor, Honorable Cherorot, Honorable Leonard Ngetich, Honorable Bill Brenda B., Honorable Rosemary Rob, Honorable Edna Tanui, Honorable Chirchir Edith, Honorable Daniel Rob, Chief Officer Betsy Chebet, Mr. Wekesa Simiyu, Mr. Alphonse Rotich, taking minutes. From the Londiani accident ad hoc report, the following witnesses appeared before the committee and denied to have attended the meeting. 1. Honorable Rosemary Rob, Judy Chirchir, Edna Tanui, and Daniel Rob. The said witnesses who denied appearing in the meeting submitted affidavits verifying not to have been present in the meeting in the 18th of July of 2023. Annexed as 9A, B, C, D, or as copies of sworn affidavits. Further, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Alphonse Kipkurui Rotich also submitted an affidavit indicating that Rosemary Rob, Chirchir Judith, Edna Tanui, and Daniel Rob had not attended the meeting held on the 18 July 2023. The County Secretary also submitted Londiani accident ad hoc committee minutes dated 20th July on distribution of checks for Londiani accident victims. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Alphonse Rotich affidavits denied having any meeting dated 20th July 2023. Mr. Speaker, Chanzo, Victor and Company advocates had intention of instituting private prosecution against Dr. Wesley Bor on the said allegation. The said law firm confirmed via letter dated 12th of July that the ESCC and Office of the Director of Public Prosecution confirmed to be engaged in active investigation over the said matter. This has been annexed as 11A via a letter from Chanzu, Victor and Company advocates. The committee had further done letters to ESCC, DCIO and ODPP seeking clarification on the status of the said matter, and as of the date of the submission of this report, it has not received any response. The allegation being criminal in nature and as confirmed by Chanzo, Victor and Company advocates are still pending before the investigatory bodies. However, from perusal of the affidavit submitted by the mover of the motion, it is clear that the said allegation have been substantiated. To Mr. Speaker, on employment issues. Several witnesses who appeared before the committee on the 22nd of July 2024 and the 23rd July 2024 justified the issues to the committee on employment procedures and processes followed by the county government of Kericho. Further, they stated that the Department of Human Resources is responsible for recruitment, selection, appointment, and transfers. Mr. Speaker, from what was stated by the witnesses, the following was observed by the committee: that the county secretary acted beyond his powers by redeploying some of the employees. 2, Mr. Speaker, appointing employees on his own capacity without following the due process of appointment. 3, Mr. Speaker, instructing chief officer to issue termination letters, which is against the law. It is a tried law that he who alleges must prove. That is section 107(2) of the Evidence Act provides that when a person is bound to prove the existence of any fact, it is said that the burden of proof lies on that person. The burden to prove on employment therefore lied on the witnesses before the committee to prove the same, which they did by producing their appointment letters, which are herein attached to the report. Mrs. Ellen Tele, who appeared before the committee, stated that she was appointed on the 20th September 2022 as an Assistant Director of Education by the Public Service Board and later deployed to the office of the Deputy Governor as the administrator effective from 1st of August 2023 by Dr. Wesley Bor through Chief Officer Education, Mr. Richard Tanui. In this case, therefore, the County Secretary acted beyond his powers by deploying Helen without a recommendation or consultation of the CHR Act, which was contrary to Section 69 2D and of the County Government Act 2012 and Section A15X of the Human Resource Policies and Procedures Manual of the Public Service of May 2016. The above witnesses further mentioned that one Grace Sinay, who had attended an interview together, was later appointed by the County Secretary to the office of the Deputy Governor. That Grace was not qualified as she had not been served with an appointment letter contrary to Section B7(1) of the Human Resource Policies and Procedure Manual for Public Service. Mr. Speaker, in another scenario, the County Secretary deployed some employees from the one department to another. An instance case is that of one witness, Mr. Wilbert Cheruyot, CPA, who was deployed from the Lands Department to the Finance Department without any form of written notice to that effect. The Chief Officer informed him verbally that the orders for his deployment were from the County Secretary, and when he asked of how the decision was made, he was not accorded any hearing for his redeployment. Article 47(2) of the Constitution of Kenya stipulates that if a right or a fundamental freedom of a person has been or is likely to be adversely affected by administrative person, the person is to be given a written reason for the action. Therefore, the County Secretary in this case did not act as per the said article by not giving clear or any reason to the said witness on his transfer. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, the decision to deploy him was not in accordance with Section A15X of Human Resource Policies and Procedure Manual for the Public Service 2016. Dr. Betty Langat, one of the witnesses before the committee, stated that she was deployed to head dental services at Kericho County Referral Hospital, whereas she was a county director of medical services before the said